This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
On this episode of Off the Script, this is episode 187, part number 1, for your Friday, September 15th, 2017! I got news on Vince McMahon. Did he really blade before taking that brutal headbutt from Kevin Owens on Smackdown Live? Also, the real reason why Asuka is being moved to Monday Night Raw. Also, is WWE planning another Mae Young Classic next summer for the summer of 2018? Also, Kofi Kingston possibly injured on a WWE tour in Hawaii. What is the status of Kofi Kingston, and how long will he be out of action now that the New Day are the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions? Enzo Amore has gone SAWFT, soft. Liv Morgan breaks up with him and has her eyes on a UK champion. Who is she eyeing? We'll discuss it right here on TMZ or Off the Script. Finally, I got news on the Intercontinental Championship at No Mercy. Who's The Miz gonna defend against, and are you gonna like it? Do I care if you like it? No! Why? Because this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Tease, bro. Yeah. Oh, JD, who was that, man? What was that beautiful tone, that beautiful sound that we heard at the beginning of this podcast, man? Well, if you guys really want to know, you gotta wait till the end of the video, because I'm no dummy, bro. I don't want to turn people off. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of coffee, but the last individual that you seen before it cut away to the intro of Off the Script, that was my brother, Mr. Legionary himself, Frank. So, he is drumming for Tony's side project, that is Chaos Sanctuary, and their first video for Existence Obsolete. And you're going to have to wait till the end of the video to see that full-fledged. My brother in action, Tony in action, the whole band in action with their first music video. I wanted to just tease you guys with a portion of the song that probably will be universally liked by everybody, because I love that just clean guitar sound, man. They make it sound so beautiful. But I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of coffee. So if you guys are into that type of craziness, you guys are going to want to wait till the end of the video and see them all in action for 5+ minutes as we debut their first music video here on Off the Script. I will leave all their information down below in the comment section of this video, so you guys can go over there and subscribe to Tony's YouTube channel if you guys are into that type of thing. He's always posting some fun stuff over there if you guys are into the whole heavy metal guitar thing. So that is that. Wait till the end of the video. It should be worth your time if you are a fan of death and thrash metal. But this is Off the Script, episode 187, part number 1 for your Friday, September 15th, 2017. Thank you guys so very much. This is, of course, Off the Script, the #1 wrestling podcast right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. And it's been a very, very slow news week, man. I've been having a very difficult time finding anything of interest to even put on this show today. So we're going to pick it up. There's a story with Vince McMahon. Did he blade We got rumors on Asuka. We got the official announcement this past Monday on Raw that Asuka is going to be making her way to Monday Night Raw. Why is that? And does Asuka, is that a new flavor of, wood? We don't know what's going to happen with Asuka, man. We can only pray to the heavens that Asuka is treated well on Monday Night Raw. But I got news on that, news on the Mae Young Classic, and will there be another one next summer? So we got news on that, as well as the IC title situation for No Mercy. It's a heavy topic in WWE right now. A lot of people saying the Intercontinental Championship is being treated like shit. So we have to figure out what's going on with that. There's rumors on that, according to Dave Meltzer, as to where WWE is going to go with the IC title coming out of this Jeff Hardy match with The Miz. Where are they going to go? So we don't know, but Meltzer seems to have an idea, and we'll discuss that right here on Off the Script. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel, man. Please make sure you cover all your bases. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. If you guys love this wrestling stuff, I am the man for you. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Twitter is the best way to keep up to date with the channel activity, as everything that is uploaded to YouTube is automatically pushed to Twitter on a good day, most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't, but keep your eye on Twitter. Everything that gets uploaded here is pushed to Twitter automatically. Please follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. Lots of cool shit coming up on Twitch this fall. A lot of games coming out. We got Super Mario Odyssey that I can't wait to play. We got the new Call of Duty, Destiny 2, if I ever get a raid done with the guys. A lot of stalling, a lot of goons in my raid squad, but I love them. So there's a bunch of stuff coming up on Twitch. Live reactions to NXT and pay-per-views. I wish I could do Monday Night Raw and Smackdown, but my setup is not really set up for that. Hopefully in the future, because I know you guys enjoy that type of thing. But regardless, man, follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. It's not abbreviated, goons. It's JD from New York. Thank you guys so very much. Also, I want to thank everybody for sticking with me on the Patreon side, man. My Goon Squad on Patreon.com. You guys are absolutely beast. If you guys love what I do here, if you want to show your appreciation in any way, Patreon is the place to do it, man. Patreon.com/JD206. The award-winning... I'm just making that up. It's not really award-winning, but it's very, very entertaining. Mario Kart 8 gameplay for the Nintendo Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gameplay. Every Monday, you guys are going to get close to an hour of full-on, unadulterated rage in Mario Kart 8. If that's your cup of tea, I don't usually drink tea, but when I'm sick, I do. Add a dash of honey, add some lemon, and you're good to go. If that's your sort of thing, then fine. Mondays is where you got to park your ass and sit down and watch JD rage while playing Mario Kart, man. You guys have been loving it. $5 or more will get you Mario Kart gameplay. As little as $1 a month can get you early access to Off the Script and entry into my Off the Script Discord. Thank you guys so very much. That's the second time I made that mistake today. You know, I recorded the Mae Young Classic. I said the same thing, and here I am, a goon, making the same mistake. I am fucking exhausted, man. I am tired. I don't sleep anymore, man. My normal go to sleep hour is 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I wake up at 9, and I got 6 hours of sleep, and I'm not functioning well. I'm tired during the day. I don't know why. Destiny, I fucking hate you, man. You're keeping me up. But regardless, man, thank you to all my Patreons. You guys are kicking ass. We are 425 patrons deep. That is the most we've ever had, man, and keep it up, man. I'd love to break that 500 threshold. You guys are beast. Patreon.com/JD206. Thank you to everybody that's purchased t-shirts, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Coupon code JD17 is still active. Make sure you guys take advantage of that as long as it's available. JD17 at checkout. That's 20% off your entire order. You can order 1 shirt or 5 shirts, man. You're going to get 20% off your entire order. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Charlotte. I know you fans are, or you guys are fans of Charlotte Flair. I am the women's champion, and I have a new audio book that is out on Audible Trial. I could do a whole episode like that, man, if you want me to, you know? But if you guys are new to the podcast, if you haven't signed up yet, Audible's offering you guys 30 days free, 1 free audiobook of your choice. All you got to do is use our link. Charlotte has a new book out. It's called Second Nature. If you guys want something for free, if you guys got iPhones, if you got Androids, if you got PCs, tablets, smart TVs, wherever Audible is available, you guys can take advantage of that, man. And if you want to support the show by not going through Patreon or buying a t-shirt, all you have to do is listen to the bullshit that comes out of my mouth, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. And thank you to the fine people over at capbeast.com. You guys know I love my caps. I got this one from the Atlanta Brave shop, bro. Little expensive because they charge an arm and a leg over there. But if you guys love caps, beanies, hats, you guys have your own custom logo you want printed on anything, they got it for you, man. Capbeast.com. Use code JD10 at checkout and save yourself 10% off your entire order, man. Thank you guys so much for that. Let's get right into the news of Off the Script. We're going to start off with this Vince McMahon story, man. We're going to cover our bases with Raw and SmackDown because it's been a very, very slow news week. I don't know what's going on. I think everybody's pretty much waiting for No Mercy. I'm waiting for No Mercy, man. I'm very interested to see what they do with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I think WWE should really pull the trigger on giving the title to Braun Strowman. They didn't do it with Joe, which is unfortunate because I thought Joe would have been a great Universal Champion. Now they got Brock Lesnar. This is a WrestleMania caliber match for Brock Lesnar taking place at a B-level pay-per-view like No Mercy. Pull the trigger. Brock Lesnar is rumored to be off TV for the rest of the year. He's not even going to be appearing at Survivor Series. So, I know I made mention of this several times already. The Universal Championship is going to be off Monday Night Raw for 4 months? And with the current state of the IC title, that's the title that you're going to have headlining your shows. Come on, man. WWE has not prepped themselves for this situation. Braun Strowman, as far as I see it, needs to win the Universal Championship. And hopefully that is the case. I'm not predicting Braun Strowman to win, but I want Braun Strowman to win. That's on Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw as there's some stories this week pertaining to Raw. But let's talk about SmackDown. We got Vince McMahon showing up on SmackDown Live. Now, Meltzer reported this week that the ratings for SmackDown Live were heavily increased due to Vince McMahon being there. Vince McMahon equals ratings, I guess, you know, but Vince McMahon is old. You know, Vince McMahon, yes, he draws ratings, but what does that say about the rest of what they're doing? If nobody else on that roster or that brand or Monday Night Raw is drawing anything as far as ratings and they don't move the needle, what does that say about the company? You know what it says to me? It says that they can only do anything positive or anything with a slight increase when the 72-year-old CEO makes an appearance on television. But you got the most talented roster in the history of this business, and that's it. You can't do anything with that. It's a little shitty if you ask me, you know? That goes to show you how WWE is failing each and every week. Because if Vince McMahon's the only one that's going to garner a ratings increase, something's wrong somewhere else. It's your job to find that. Can't rely on Vince McMahon showing up to TV every week. Certainly not going to be on TV next week after what Kevin Owens did to him. But people are talking about 72-year-old Vince McMahon. Did he take a headbutt? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It might not have been hard way because of certain issues. There are rumors going around that WWE set Vince McMahon up to bleed before that headbutt took place. And they wouldn't want Kevin Owens headbutting Vince McMahon that physically, that fierce, that brutally, because of his age. And Vince McMahon has had a few concussions in his WWE tenure, from steel chair shots to just blows to the head. They didn't want to risk anything happening to Vince McMahon, especially being that WWE is going through a concussion lawsuit right now. So Dave Meltzer has seemingly uncovered the mystique of this entire segment on SmackDown Live. Vince McMahon could have bladed, according to Dave Meltzer, before the headbutt spot on SmackDown Live with Kevin Owens. Vince McMahon was opened up thanks to a stiff headbutt from KO on SmackDown Live. Before the headbutt occurred, KO asked Vince McMahon if he had his permission to take any McMahon out that stood in his way. So Vince McMahon agreed, and apparently Kevin thought that the boss needed an attitude check because he headbutted him really hard and then continued in a relentless assault. Now, Dave Meltzer reports in the Wrestling Observer newsletter this week that he's spoken to several people who have pulled off similar stunts in the past, and Vince McMahon most likely bladed himself before the headbutt spot on SmackDown Live. Now, he would have covered the fresh wound up with new skin, so it would bust open. But you still need a considerable amount of contact in order to pull that kind of spot off. I'm not saying that Kevin Owens didn't hard-way Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon probably asked for this. You know, he probably went to Kevin Owens in the back. God damn it, Kevin Owens! I want you to headbutt me! And I want Kevin Owens, I want him to show everybody how physical can be. Right, Kevin Dunn? Ooh, yes. You know, I'm physical when I chomp down on that, wood. You know he asked for it. You know he asked for it, man. You know Vinnie Mac asked for it, okay? But Meltzer believes that, you know, with similar stunts being pulled off in the past, Vince McMahon most likely bladed himself. I believe it would have been even more physical if Kevin Owens headbutted him, you know, legitimately like that. He might have not even been busted open. Who knows? So they wanted to add color to this regardless. Not saying that Kevin Owens didn't legitimately headbutt him. He certainly did. But it was facilitated in a way where the color red would enhance something in WWE's storyline here. So he would have covered the fresh wound up with new skin so it would bust open, but a considerable amount of contact was still needed in order to pull this spot off. Therefore, the headbutt from KO was legit and really hit its intended target. Vince McMahon likes to make things look good when he's often in them, and he's often being quoted as telling talent not to go easy on him in the ring. But Meltzer and Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Radio how the spot might have been foolish when it comes to timing. Kazuchika Okada and Shibata had a brutal encounter at New Japan's Sakura Genesis on April 9th, which left Shibata with a subdural hematoma. He frankly could have died, and so could have Vince. Meltzer noted McMahon has received plenty of damage to the head in his lifetime, thanks to various steel chair shots to the head. It's also not wise as a decision, considering all of the concussions and other lawsuits pending against McMahon and the WWE, even though Vince proudly announced he never loses lawsuits in this very same segment. I thought it was fantastic, man. Whatever they did worked. And whatever they did is going to make Kevin Owens an even bigger star, man. You know, this is going to make Kevin Owens' star shine brightest. They could have picked anybody else on the roster for Vince McMahon to appear in front of. Kevin Owens got the nod, and I even said on SmackDown Live, the WWE Championship title situation on SmackDown Live is god-awful horrendous. Nobody cares about Jinder Mahal. Nobody cares about him feuding with Shinsuke Nakamura, which is a shame, because Shinsuke Nakamura is such a talented individual. Nobody cares. It's not as physical. It's not as personal as what we're seeing with Kevin Owens and this whole McMahon storyline. If Vince McMahon is going to interject himself into a storyline, that automatically catapults that storyline above everything else on that particular show. Vince McMahon doesn't appear on television for just anybody. The fact that Kevin Owens has been chosen and been gifted a segment with Vince McMahon and a storyline with Vince McMahon and a spot where he gets to beat up Vince McMahon, which is an elite company in itself, that has the makings of making Kevin Owens a superstar. You know what else I also like about this? The fact that, you know, Kevin Owens was nothing but a comedy character earlier in the year when he was Universal Champion. The fact that he broke out of that just in time for his United States Championship run and his breakup away from Chris Jericho. We still really didn't see the brutal Kevin Owens. We did at the Festival of Friendship back earlier this year on Monday Night Raw, but this was the Kevin Owens that we all fell in love with down in NXT when he was destroying Sami Zayn, his best friend, because Sami Zayn was his A, target, and B, in his way to getting the NXT Championship. This is the Kevin Owens that we've all wanted. This is the Kevin Owens that we've desired. This is the Kevin Owens that we've missed. Kevin Owens and what he did to Vince McMahon brought back the KO that needs to be on WWE television going forward. Kevin Owens is going to be a star. His star is going to shine brightest out of all this. And it could potentially lead, people are saying that this could potentially lead to Kevin Owens and Triple H at WrestleMania. I wouldn't go that far. It could very well be, being that we've seen Stephanie McMahon interject herself in this entire thing, but I think that was just done because there had to be another McMahon to take care of the elder McMahon in Vince. Couldn't be Triple H to come out there, right? That wouldn't have made any sense, per storyline anyway, and it can't be Shane because he's suspended. So we can't have that going on. Stephanie was there, and, you know, Stephanie and her vicious look that she gives everybody, where she just wants to claw somebody's eyes out, she gave that look to Kevin Owens, and she had to be there to take care of her father. But I think this is going to be fantastic for Kevin Owens. I thought it was a great storyline. I actually thought that they were going to start this off on Smackdown Live. They're going to start the show off with this and start hot. But as the show went on, they wanted to really keep your attention, which I don't blame them for doing. I think it was a good decision in the end. Because, you know, they feel that, you know, they do have 3 championship matches on SmackDown Live, but is that going to be enough to keep people's interest throughout the entire show? So instead of giving away the McMahon segment, which probably everybody wanted to see more than anything else on that show, they saved it for the end, and they kept you waiting. So they kept that audience retention throughout the show by putting it on last. I think that was a great decision in the end. Typically, WWE does the opposite. They put on the most important thing first, and they put on some bullshit last. But they made a right decision on SmackDown Live, and I can't wait to see what happens next week, man. People are talking about Kevin Owens getting fired. People are talking about Kevin Owens, per storyline, by the way, because some people don't realize that it's all scripted entertainment. Kevin Owens could be fired, quote unquote. Kevin Owens could be suspended, fined, but he is in a match in Hell in a Cell. So this is just another layer on top of this storyline that's been brewing for months now. WWE, when they want to tell good stories, they certainly can. When they put their time and effort into something, stuff like this happens. And I wish that they would kind of distribute it along the rest of the SmackDown Live roster. Instead of putting all their eggs in one basket, they're pretty much neglecting everything else on the show and putting all their effort and strength and blood and sweat and tears into one storyline to get that over. Meanwhile, there's the rest of a 2-hour show that needs your attention as well. And there's guys on the roster that really haven't been doing much of anything. And a WWE champion that needs to be, you know, removed from the top of the card. Seriously. But when WWE wants to tell good stories, they certainly do. We're going to flip from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. I got news on the Intercontinental Championship when it comes to No Mercy. No Mercy is less than 2 weeks away, and we still don't have a match announced for The Miz and his Intercontinental Championship. Now, this comes after The Miz was on the kickoff show at SummerSlam in front of an empty crowd. Nobody there because WWE and Road Dogg say, what's the difference? You know, they're on SummerSlam. What's the difference if they're on the main card or the pre-show? Big difference, goons. Big difference. That situation spells the tale. Or tells the tale, I should say. Spells disgrace, if you ask me. And he didn't even defend the title at SummerSlam. Their second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and the IC title isn't being defended on the show. Just stupid. It's stupid. So what the heck is going on with the IC title and No Mercy? The latest rumors coming from Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, the original plan for the IC title at No Mercy was a match between The Miz and Jason Jordan. Now, the status is completely up in the air for that match after what happened over the past few weeks. Looked like Jordan and The Miz was being built towards, but WWE wanted to go in a completely opposite direction. Jeff Hardy won a Battle Royal and got a shot at The Miz and his title. The Miz last week also started a feud with Enzo Amore, someone who will be wrestling for the Cruiserweight Championship at No Mercy. As for Jordan, he's had some very, very good matches with John Cena and Roman Reigns. Finn Balor even. So Jason Jordan has been delivering. He's just not as charismatic as people would have hoped. Storyline isn't really grabbing people's attention like WWE would have hoped. But there has been no interaction with The Miz whatsoever. So with 2 weeks left to go until No Mercy, what is WWE going to do? Jason Jordan is currently working live event matches with The Miz. He remains the favorite to be The Miz's opponent for the event. but it will likely be a last-minute thing with not much build. One thing is clear, the build for the IC title over the past few months has been god-awful. Simple as that. What would JD do in this situation? Well, like fucking Hawk of Legion of Doom. Well, what do we do? What do we do? I wouldn't put Jason Jordan in this position. Makes no sense. What I would do is, I don't think the Hardys have anything to do with No Mercy. I would much rather see Jeff Hardy and The Miz again in a rematch than some random match that means nothing in the grand scheme of things with the Hardys in the club. I mean, who wants to see that? That is just a complete waste of everybody's time. So what I would do is I would book The Miz and Jeff Hardy to engage one-on-one over the next couple weeks, culminating in a match at No Mercy. The Intercontinental Championship needs to be built up if WWE plans on keeping the Universal Championship on Brock Lesnar. They clearly have no direction with The Miz holding the Intercontinental Championship. He's done everything else right. But WWE seemingly has failed with The Miz and his booking and him being the Intercontinental Champion. What they have to do is put it on a babyface. I've said this for weeks now. You gotta think long term. You know, people are saying, you know, JD, what about Finn Balor getting a shot at Brock Lesnar? No. No. Finn Balor, A, hasn't even really made an issue about getting a Universal Championship rematch. He hasn't made an issue about getting a rematch at all because he never lost the title. He had to give it up in a freak injury last SummerSlam. He made one reference to Brock Lesnar. Everybody's flipping their shit. He hasn't made any mention about Brock Lesnar and the Universal Championship. So what is Finn Balor going to do after he ultimately defeats Bray Wyatt? What are you going to do with him? Nothing. There's nothing for him to do. Roman Reigns ain't going on to fight Finn Balor. Finn Balor can ultimately fight John Cena, but John Cena is going away to go film movies. What are you going to do with Finn Balor? What are you going to do with Finn Balor? I think WWE right now needs to push Jeff Hardy towards the Intercontinental Championship. I think a babyface needs that Intercontinental Championship. I don't think WWE would book Jeff Hardy as the Intercontinental Championship like they're booking The Miz. For whatever reason, they haven't been doing their job correctly. They're using Miz more to put people down and bring up grievances that are being reported in the dirt sheets, spawning off work shoot segments on Monday Night Raw. Instead of actually defending the Intercontinental Championship, when The Miz actually does defend it, it's always decent. Just look at his match with Jeff Hardy, a very, very good television match with Jeff Hardy a couple weeks ago. But I think Jeff Hardy should get another shot at the IC title. I think Babyface needs the IC title. I think the WWE needs to start focusing on building the Intercontinental Championship up as its main title if they are planning to keep Brock Lesnar the Universal Champion and him off television for 4 months. So then what do you do with Finn Balor? You insert him right into that Intercontinental Championship feud. You have them feud for a couple of months. You have a TLC match with Jeff Hardy and Finn Balor over the IC title. Don't tell me that doesn't get you excited. Jeff Hardy in a match that he pretty much created and excels at against Finn Balor. Finn Balor's done nothing all year. This was a wasted year for Finn Balor. It's been nothing but a waste since he's come back. You put him in a match with Jeff Hardy for the IC title at TLC in a TLC, and by God, you got yourself a main event right there. That's what I'd love to see. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that as well. The IC title has to be important. It needs to be made important. And if they're not going to do that, then what is the point of The Miz holding on to the title? He ain't doing jack shit with it. He ain't doing nothing with it. Nobody wants to see Jason Jordan fight The Miz. Granted, the guy is a great wrestler. But what do they have to do with one another? You already started the feud, then you stopped it, and you went to a different direction. So now you have to go in that other direction because you stopped the original plan with Jason Jordan. Now, with 2 weeks left to go, you're going to prove to me that Jason Jordan deserves an IC title? Why does he deserve an IC title? Match. Why, because he fought Roman Reigns and John Cena? Yeah, he's got great matches, but he lost both of them. How does that equate to getting a shot at the IC title? It doesn't. You probably say the same thing about Jeff Hardy, but there was a bunch of bullshit during that match. Jeff can easily ask for a rematch with the Miztourage being banned from ringside. There's a bunch of bullshit during that match. So we'll see what happens, man. I would go with Jeff Hardy and The Miz at No Mercy. Babyface Jeff, needs the title. Because that's the only one that they even pushed close to that championship that's in a babyface role. I think a babyface needs the IC title. It's a working man's championship. It's the fighting championship. You know? That's the... though guys like Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, you know? Guys like that. They've brought prestige to that title. It's the working man's title. I would put it on a babyface, and I would have Jeff bust his ass defending that title against seemingly everybody. And it opens up more fresh matchups for a babyface. Right now, you're pretty much holding the title captive with The Miz as IC champion. You know, there's not really many babyfaces for him to feud with right now. WWE seemingly doesn't have any plans. They could have done Finn Balor. I would have done it before SummerSlam. I would have done it at SummerSlam. But WWE didn't go that route. Yeah, they got Jeff Hardy. But in the long scheme of things, after that, it's not really, there's no competition there. With Jeff, you got Finn. With Jeff, you got Elias Sampson, who I think deserves an IC title. Before you know it, you know, Elias Sampson's going to be moving on up the ladder in WWE on Monday Night Raw. Eventually, you're going to have to reward this guy with the hard work and the great work that he's been doing. You mean to tell me you're going to put The Miz versus Elias for the Intercontinental Championship? No, I think Jeff versus Elias sounds a lot better. Or Finn versus Elias for the IC title. Or Jeff versus Bray Wyatt for the Intercontinental Championship. I like the sounds of that better than having The Miz hold on to the title and do literally nothing with it. So WWE has some thinking to do. I'd go with Jeff. Will they? I don't know. Knowing WWE, they'll probably do the wrong decision and make the wrong decision and go with Jason Jordan when he has nothing to do with The Miz Taraj. So we'll see what happens with The Miz and the Intercontinental Championship. I normally don't report news about WWE superstars dating one another or breaking up with one another. But I'm going to report this one because he sucks. And it shows how much of a loser he really is on top of everything else that's been reported. Enzo Amore and Liv Morgan. You know, cute little old Liv Morgan from New Jersey who works down in NXT with her cringy theme music. You know, it doesn't really make her cringe, but she's a very attractive female. That's the Liv Morgan I'm talking about. Now, with these kinds of stories, you know, it's either they go public or they don't go public. In this case, it's gone public because Liv Morgan wanted to go public with it because I guess she wanted to join on the Enzo being shit on bandwagon. But Liv Morgan's Instagram pretty much made light that she was cheated on by Enzo Amore and that she's now single. So Liv Morgan's tweets also confirms that she's single and apparently ended a relationship with Enzo Amore, who was dating her, and that was public knowledge, and that he had cheated on her. Amore is not mentioned by name, but their relationship was not a secret, like I just said. It's unclear if the last straw was the tweets sent out by the stripper a few weeks ago that pretty much called out Enzo for doing whatever he had to do at a strip club in the VIP room. I don't even know if that was real. I don't know if that was legit, but it made the news rounds. Or if it was something else that caused her to end the relationship with Enzo. Maybe she just figured she didn't want to date a loser anymore. You know, this guy was going nowhere. He was annoying. And she wanted to distance herself from him, just like everybody else has. So she wanted to join on the let's shit on Enzo bandwagon. Now, as expected, social media and everybody loves to interject themselves into each other's business because nobody else has a fucking life of their own. So social media blew up after her tweet. So the reactions, if you kept scrolling down from this particular tweet, it was Liv Morgan who I think tweeted out a selfie of herself. She was wearing a white tank top. She had purple lipstick on. She had glasses on. Seems like Tyler Bate seems to be smitten with Liv Morgan. So they were pretty much flirting back and forth. Last week, Liv tweeted out to Tyler, "I like your face." And, you know, he tweeted back the same thing, "I like your face." He tweeted, I guess, when he seen this picture, "I like your glasses." And then she tweeted back, "I like your glasses." Some shit like that. It was very, I guess, cutesy. People making it more making it out to be more than what it really is, probably. Who the fuck knows, man? They might be interested in one another. Who cares? If they're interested in one another, they're interested in one another. Let her go on and be happy. She was dating a loser for God knows how long. She wants to go date a former United Kingdom champion in Tyler Bate and a much better wrestler than Enzo Amore, then by all means, go be happy. So Liv Morgan might not be single for too much longer. Sorry to break all you 8-year-olds' hearts out there who desire and want Liv Morgan to date you in your dreams. The only way you're going to get Liv Morgan is if you're dreaming NXT while laying down at night. There you go. Liv Morgan and Enzo Amore no longer dating. Don't know why I reported it, but I figured I'd just throw fuel on the fire for this Enzo bashing that seemingly never ends week to week. We got news on Kofi Kingston possibly being injured in Hawaii. I wish I was in Hawaii, goddamn. But it looks like Bad Timing is going to claim another victim when it comes to these unexpected injuries. Kofi Kingston and the New Day just won Smackdown Live Tag Team Championships in Las Vegas during a pretty great match. Sin City Street Fight against the Usos. Some people call the match a spot fest, but not to me. I thought it was a great match, and I think both teams work very well together. Now, it looks like Kofi Kingston possibly suffered an injury on the next night. So he went from Vegas to Hawaii. Good for him. It would be another injury putting 2 of the 3 members of the New Day out of action. Fans from the Honolulu, Hawaii house show reported Kofi needed to be helped to the back by medical staff after New Day's victory over Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin on Wednesday night. Was Baron Corbin dressed as a particular wrestler? I don't know. But apparently he was teaming up with another loser in Baron Corbin. They got a lot in common. This awful timing came because Xavier Woods is currently out of action now with a knee issue. Although it looks like he'll be back soon, there might not be any choice but to vacate the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles at this moment. Then again, if WWE's plan is to eventually have the New Day break the all-time record for most tag team title runs, this could certainly be a logical way to have them drop the titles in order to get them back soon enough. You know what? We've had enough hot potato with the title. If that is the plan, just keep the titles on them. You know? Nobody can help an injury. I'm not even going to say you should have kept the titles on the Usos because nobody expected Kofi to get injured the next night. But shit happens. I would have never taken the titles off the Usos anyway. But this is WWE's agenda. They want to push the New Day as the greatest tag team of all time. Longest reigning. Most titles. No. It's not going to make a best tag team of all time. I'm sorry. No matter what you do, and we discussed this already, the New Day is in a category of their own. They may be top 15, top 20, but you're going to put them in the top 10? Just because of the most tag team title runs? Because of the longest reigning tag team title reign of all time? No. No. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. The New Day is very, very good, but I would not really push that initiative any more than you have to. But WWE has no more tag teams right now. They got no more tag teams on SmackDown Live. Last I seen, Zack Ryder, Long Island IZ, packed his bags and went to go have a Long Island iced tea out somewhere in Long Island. He didn't want anything to do with Mojo Rawley on SmackDown Live. That could be another team being broken up. You know? Then on top of that, you got the team of Breezango arresting Drew Gulak on 205 Live. For what? I don't know, but the guy sucks. I don't blame them for arresting him. He's awful. The whole show's awful. Why don't you arrest everybody on the show? But the New Day, don't push that initiative anymore. Because the more you do it, A, it's sad that the Usos are the best tag team in WWE right now, and they got to get the shaft. And number 2, eventually, people are going to catch on and catch wind of this, and it's going to be forced. You know? No matter how good their matches with the Usos are, I don't think the Usos deserve to lose the tag team championships. If they wanted the New Day to win the titles, they should have did it right. They should have did it at SummerSlam. Usos should have never lost the Battleground. They wanted the New Day to win the titles, they should have did it right at SummerSlam. Not this, New Day wins it, and then they lose it on SmackDown, or at SummerSlam, and then they win it on SmackDown. No, why? What type of shit is that? That's terrible, lazy storytelling. that actually loses prestige. The titles lose prestige because of that. And the fact that you only have 2 teams fighting over the titles, how important does that make the tag team titles? Not very important, if you ask me. You know? I should be thinking, we should be thinking, who's next in line? Because the Usos seemingly have their run now. What, are you going to have another match between these two? Because to me, a Sin City street fight is a blow-off match for a feud. But there's nobody else. So WWE might seemingly keep this truck rolling down the highway. I don't know. But this is awful timing. So we don't know if the WWE could or will take the titles from the New Day right now and give them back to the Usos. I don't know. If it's only a couple of weeks, if it doesn't require surgery, I won't even take the titles off of them. I don't want to see the titles hot potatoed back to the Usos. Because then I'm going to really yell. WWE could just let Big E hold the championships by himself for a while. The Freebird rule is getting complicated. Let's hope for the best in this situation. And obviously, if there's anything, we will find out on SmackDown Live. Kingston had surgery on his ankle earlier this year, but that was to just remove bone spurs or bone chips from his ankle. You could see him slightly limping, but in the video that you see on Twitter, I think a fan posted it from the Honolulu House Show. He was limping, but I don't think it's going to really be that bad. He might be out a couple of weeks. He might have sprained something. We don't know yet, but we'll see what happens. And if WWE comes to a decision, we'll see it on SmackDown Live. We got WWE possibly planning another Mae Young Classic next summer. I loved the Mae Young Classic. After that first round, I loved the rest of the tournament. That first round was kind of iffy, you know. I really wasn't excited about the Mae Young Classic coming out of that first round, those first 4 episodes. But when we got to episode 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then the final, things really picked up. I actually want you guys to go check out my Mae Young Classic final review. I uploaded it yesterday, and we went over some really, really good topics in that video. Why Kairi Sane won the Mae Young Classic over Shayna Baszler, what WWE's original plan was for the finals, all those news articles, and my opinion on the final and the match between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, all in that video, man. I'll leave you guys a link within this video in the annotation. Make sure you guys go and check that out. But WWE possibly planning another Mae Young Classic next summer. Would I do something like that again so soon? No, I would not. Now, if WWE is going to do that again next summer, it might be the only tournament that we see because too many tournaments next summer might be overkill. We had the Cruiserweight Classic. We had the Mae Young Classic. Now, next year, WWE did what they had to do with the Mae Young Classic. It put the spotlight on the women. It replenished the roster and got names in our mouths and for us to see that we want to see on WWE now. Names like Toni Storm. Names like Piper Niven. Names like Mia Yim. Bianca Belair, right? Vanessa Bourne. Women like that. Candice LeRae, Abby Lath, Jazzy Gabbert, Rachel Evers, Tessa Blanchard, you know, Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai. Women like that. We see these women. And now we want to see more of them. They got the best platform possible, and WWE did an excellent job at making us excited about the future of women's wrestling in WWE. It did its job. It's going to replenish NXT. We're going to get a new NXT Women's Champion. And the main roster is going to flourish as well because there's going to be call-ups from NXT. Well, everybody that you see in the Mae Young Classic is going to go right down to the Performance Center and NXT. So it did its job. Now, WWE should have that same mentality with the tag teams. I think if you're going to do a Mae Young Classic again, it should take place after another tournament comes around. And I would love if WWE had a cycling summer of tournaments. You know, we had the Cruiserweight Classic, like I said, the Mae Young Classic. Now it's time for a Tag Team Classic. Enhance the Dusty Classic. Enhance the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Invite teams from all over the world. The biggest and best teams in the world to compete in the Dusty Classic. 32 teams. That's something that I would love to see because I love tag team wrestling. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, man. I think that would be fantastic. It would be a take on the Cruiserweight Classic. You could get Morrow to do it. You can get a tag team specialist to come in and be his tag team partner. You know, I don't know who that could be, but throw some names at me. I can't really think right now because my mind is 1,000 other places talking about this news article here. Cruiserweight Classic, Mae Young Classic, Dusty Classic next summer. That's what I would do. And then a revolving door, you know? Then a revolving door right back to the Cruiserweight Classic. I would have the Cruiserweight Classic again. Second inaugural Cruiserweight Classic. And maybe that would be the time for WWE to kind of rectify the mistakes that they made with 205 Live and putting the Cruiserweights on Monday Night Raw and ultimately ruining the division and making them feel like everything else on Monday Night Raw. Whereas they should be a shot of adrenaline to Monday Night Raw. They should be the one thing that stands out about Monday Night Raw. The weight limit needs to go. The 205 weight limit needs to go away. Things need to change with the Cruiserweights. And maybe having a Cruiserweight Classic in 2019, I think that would be a great way to kind of fix things that are broken right now, very broken right now on 205 Live and Monday Night Raw. But as far as a Mae Young Classic, I'm all for seeing a Mae Young Classic, but not next summer. WWE did its job this year. I think next year would be overkill. We don't need more women coming into the main roster and NXT because not everybody's going to be on the main roster. Not everybody's going to be on the main roster. You know, slow and steady wins the race. Some of these women are very green. Some of these women are going to need more than 2 years to get WWE ready. So having another Mae Young Classic and then moving up this class next year isn't really something I want to rush. I would do a Tag Team Classic and just revamp the entire Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and make it even into a bigger thing with 32 teams from around the world and really present it in a great way to honor Dusty Rhodes. That's what I would do. But WWE is possibly planning another Mae Young Classic next summer. The Mae Young Classic is in the rearview mirror, and we can now focus on next year's Mae Young Classic if indeed WWE goes this route. WWE is apparently going to keep these tournaments due to the huge success of the inaugural year's end result. Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live that Kairi Sane might not be winning the NXT Women's Championship, or else they would have had the final match for the title. There is also word that he said WWE is going to plan a multi-woman match for the vacated title as well at NXT TakeOver Houston at TakeOver in November Survivor Series weekend. Some people said that they were disappointed Shayna Baszler's loss didn't result in some kind of horsewoman standoff, but Alvarez cleared things up a little while addressing some other key bits of information of what could happen next. He also gave a nice little detail about possible plans to keep the Mae Young Classic going into the future. And I quote, this is from Brian Alvarez. Apparently the story is that they're going to do something with the horsewomen. I just don't know what it's going to be. But I guess last week they decided we could shoot an angle anytime, and we've done this entire thing. The finale, 30 minutes, we're just going to make the entire finale about Kairi and Shayna. And so they did, and now maybe they'll shoot an angle at No Mercy because Ronda lives in LA and the show is in LA, so it's possible they're going to do it there. May do something in NXT, who knows? There is an NXT taping this week where Kairi is going to debut and probably another girl from the Mae Young Classic is going to debut. And the latest I've heard, and please don't write this as a certainty because it's not, but next summer. I know everybody's been talking about a tag team deal, but they may do another Mae Young Classic next summer instead of the tag team. That seems to be the working idea right now. End quote. Now that's a lot of news to take in, but the plans for Kairi Sane to win the NXT Championship might take some time. Shayna Baszler wasn't scheduled to win the Mae Young Classic either, but she might get a shot next year if the plans stay the same. The original plan called for Toni Storm and Kairi Sane in the final, and they didn't do that. They did that in the semifinal instead. Shayna Baszler, to some WWE officials, Shayna Baszler was the one that most WWE officials wanted to win the Mae Young Classic, but the reason why they didn't give it to Shayna Baszler is because she is not signed, according to multiple sources. Some of you were telling me in the comment section of yesterday's video that Shayna is signed to the WWE. I'm not really sure about that. I don't have confirmation on that. And if that story comes out in the next coming days, I will definitely report it here. But WWE, to me, the plan was always for Kairi Sane to win the tournament because she's going to be the one to replace Asuka in NXT. But as far as a Mae Young Classic again next summer, it might not be needed. WWE has an overabundance of women right now in the WWE. They don't need to do another Mae Young Classic and sign another 16 women from the tournament, you know? Because you know how WWE likes to scoop up everybody. They want everybody on the roster. Let's focus in an area that needs dire attention right now. That's the tag team division. You got to do a Dusty Classic. You got to replenish the tag team division. You can't operate a brand split on Monday Night Raw with 3 teams. You can't operate a SmackDown Live tag team division with 2 teams. You can't do it. You can't do it. Right now, NXT has the best tag team division. You got Sanity. You got The Ring of Honor guys. You got Bobby Fischer, Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon. You got the Street Profits. You got the Authors of Pain. You know? That's the best tag team division right now in NXT. And you got TM61 coming back. So, don't give me this shit, man. You gotta focus on areas that are in dire need. The women's division right now, after this week's Mae Young Classic final, they're good to go. You set yourself up for the future. You need to focus on the tag team division. I will be very disappointed, and I will look at them like they got 6 heads if they go with another Mae Young Classic next year. Keep it constant rotation. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, why don't you do a King of the Ring? 32 guys in the WWE. Why don't you do something like that? You love tournaments so much. Let's add King of the Ring to the rotation. Because I think the King of the Ring still. I know I may be reaching for fucking straws here. But I think the King of the Ring still is a pay-per-view that WWE could utilize and be that bridge between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. It speaks for itself. The King of the Ring. You win the tournament. You're automatically in whatever championship match you want at SummerSlam. Whether it's a Raw guy or a SmackDown guy. And I mean, it works out for both brands. You're going to have 16 guys in the tournament from each brand. If that doesn't spell brand supremacy and brand conflict, I don't know what will. You want to play up the fact that there's 2 different brands. But then you don't want to play up the fact that these brands need to be competitive with one another. They're going head-to-head with one another. Everything Vince McMahon said last year is null and void now. It means nothing. But then you want to come to Survivor Series and you want to have warfare between both brands. What, built up after a week? 2 weeks? And then you want to book a Survivor Series card and have us fans? Oh, I'm going with Team Raw. Oh, I'm going with Team SmackDown. How can we invest our time in something that you don't care about? And that you really haven't focused on WWE television? There needs to be things during the year that focus on that aspect alone. You can't do it 2 weeks before Survivor Series. King of the Ring needs to be in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. They don't have a lot of dual-branded pay-per-views outside the Big 4. Let's add a Big 5 to that. Get rid of one of these lame pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell. That don't need to be a pay-per-view anymore. Get rid of this TLC shit. King of the Ring needs to be coming back, or needs to come back. You love tournaments so much, but you're neglecting the one thing that could potentially make your brands much more intriguing and give a nice rub, if done right, to a superstar who needs it. Finally, we're going to end with this, guys. Backstage reasons as to why Asuka was placed on Monday Night Raw. We're 50 minutes in here. This will be the last story of this Friday's Off the Script. Asuka, as you guys know, the princess, or the Empress of Tomorrow. I was going to say the princess. Empress of Tomorrow. She's above a princess, bro. The Empress of Tomorrow is a powerhouse and will make a huge impression on the WWE main roster when she finally makes her debut after injury, of course. So we're not sure how Asuka is going to fare on the main roster or how WWE will use her. I didn't know she's 35 years old. She is 35 years old. I did not know that at all. Does she look 35? No. Do I look 35? No. But I am. I'm the same age as Asuka, bro. But we do know she will be applying her craft to Monday Night Raw. Now, there were a lot of people who honestly wished Asuka would have ended up on Smackdown Live. I don't know who those people are. I wouldn't have put Asuka anywhere. I would have kept her down at NXT. Because you got, I would, over on Raw. And then you got Road Dogg, who's, another dummy in himself. But in the end, they chose her to go to Monday Night Raw. Now, Dave Meltzer recently broke it down on the Wrestling Observer Radio and expressed some of the backstage reasons as to why Asuka, as William Regal would say, was placed on Monday Night Raw. And I quote, "They debated both brands, and the deal is apparently that when you look at the roster on both brands, they felt the depth on Raw was not as strong. And it's not if you really look at the depth on each brand, so they felt she was better off on Raw. I wish she was on SmackDown because there would be more good matches for her there, but that's actually the reason why she's on Raw. Because she's already let me rephrase this. Because she already has, SmackDown's women are all of pushed, or kind of pushed, all in pushed, where Raw was only, pretty much Sasha, Nia, and Alexa. Emma is there just because they're desperate for talent right now, and the talent pool is thin on Monday Night Raw. They don't have any plans for Emma whatsoever. So you really only have Sasha Banks, who they pretty much destroyed, Bayley, who's hurt, and then you have Nia and Alexa, and that's it. End quote. Meltzer went on to speak about how Asuka would have even been a better fit for SmackDown Live. He also expressed some worry about how WWE will eventually end up using her. I quote again, on SmackDown side, you have a lot more, Meltzer concluded. So they sent Asuka to the weaker side as far as that went. So there you go. We'll see how it goes. Who knows? You see Jason Jordan, and you remember Jason Jordan and Sharon Gable, and we're like, can't miss, and they've missed. So who knows, So they fucked up with American Alpha. You can't miss with American Alpha. They somehow missed with American Alpha, and then they split them up, and they're missing with both guys now, Gable's much better off than Jason Jordan right now, or at least in a much more successful situation with Shelton Benjamin. So who knows what they're going to do with Asuka. If Asuka would have made the jump to SmackDown Live instead of Raw, it would have made for much better matches. But in the end, Raw needed her most, so that's where the Empress of Tomorrow is taking her talent. Now, the real reason why Asuka is coming to Raw over SmackDown Live is that she is needed more on Raw because the women's division has been struggling. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? WWE, for political reasons, doesn't want to push Emma. They got something, they got a gripe against Emma, they're not pushing Emma for whatever reason, and then they're leaving her pretty much to do nothing. And now they're only using her because they're desperate to get talent on the shows. So they're using Emma as nothing but, we don't have any plans for you, but we're going to use you anyway. Mickie James, same thing. They got no plans for Mickie James. Why did you even move her from SmackDown Live? So the reason why they're moving her to Raw is because the women's division is struggling, and WWE only has them to look in the mirror. Themselves to look in the mirror. The general feeling for a lot of people backstage is the Raw women's division could use a boost, since Alexa, Sasha, and Nia are the only top contenders in the division. It's been said that Emma's push is out of necessity. This week on Raw, there was a match between the Boss and Emma. However, the arena was almost empty because a lot of the fans in attendance used the match as a bathroom break. Well, can you blame them? You haven't pushed Emma in any way. So why are people going to care about Emma? You fucked over Sasha. Why is anybody going to care about Sasha now? So, WWE officials don't want to have the same old habits of the fans to return. Asuka is expected to be a huge boost to the division and makes the segments can't miss. Frankly, WWE officials are putting in so much effort to ensure that she gets over. The Empress of Tomorrow is riding an epic undefeated streak from NXT right now into the main roster. A lot of those fans who are unfamiliar with Asuka will have high expectations for her to succeed. Considering all the pressure that the company's putting on her to carry the women's division on Raw, Asuka needs to get over with the fans, or else WWE officials are going to have an uphill battle to fight for a very long time. If Triple H did it for 2 years, then it's certainly doable on Monday Night Raw. The only way it won't be doable is if you got political garbage getting in the way, and you got dummies who don't know what they're doing getting in the way. God forbid Asuka is treated like shit on the main roster. For all we know, Asuka can make the main roster and in her debut match lose to Alexa Bliss. Because that's how stupid WWE would be. Asuka's being set up clearly to be the woman in that division. But Asuka is not going to be the one to carry that load by herself. You got to put women around her that are going to be supporting players. Even with Asuka there, it's still going to be a thin division. Asuka, Sasha, Nia, Alexa, Bayley. Yeah, you got those women. But it's going to take more before we start seeing the same old shit week in and week out. It's going to be rinse and repeat. Asuka might be something fresh, but after the first month, we would have run through all the possible matches on that brand already. No, but I don't know what I'm talking about, though. You can't have a division with 5 women. You can't. It's got to be double that. You got to have 10 women. You got to start making trades. A shakeup needs to be. For this women's division to be successful, shakeups need to be. And they need to be logical. Why is Asuka coming to Monday Night Raw? They signed her to a deal. Fine. Fine. But with the other women, you got to send someone down and you got to move someone up. Trades need to happen. And I'm including NXT in that. NXT is going to be replenished. NXT is going to be fine. But for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, you need 10 women on Raw, the 3-hour show. You can feature 2 to 3 women's matches per week. 2 matches at most. 3 might be a little bit overkill. But instead of having everybody in the title hunt every week, which is ridiculous, why don't you give these women something to fight for? Fight to get into that conversation. Fight to get to that title hunt. No, because you make the Monday Night Raw roster, you can promote somebody from NXT, and they're automatically chasing the title. What the fuck have they done? Things need to change as far as the women on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. Both brands have been boring as far as women's wrestling goes. Boring. Asuka is great. I love Asuka. But is she going to be enough to interject a shot of momentum into Monday Night Raw? Is she going to change Monday Night Raw's landscape? No. Not unless you put supporting players around Asuka. Asuka is great. But on top of what you got to give me about 3 or 4 different other women. On top of what you got on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, you got Becky, you got Charlotte, you got Naomi, you got Natty, you got Carmella. 5 women? I don't even count Tamina. Who's Tamina? Tamina should be down in NXT. Lana should be with Rusev. Tamina Crush. What was the point you took her away from Rusev if she's going to do Tamina Crush? SmackDown needs help too. SmackDown needs more help than Raw. They get off easy because they're the 2-hour show. But you gotta add at least 3 other women to SmackDown Live. Raw by default, for being the bigger show, needs more women. 10 on Raw, 8 on SmackDown. I think that's good. Asuka's not gonna be enough to change Monday Night Raw. Before you know it, she's gonna end up like Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode hasn't hit that point yet because they kept him off TV for 2 weeks. People are already crying, "Oh, JD, where's Bobby Roode, man?" He's off TV. I want him off TV. Why? Because I don't want him to end up like Susie Mura. Come on, man. Use your brain a little. Asuka is not going to be enough. Dana Brooke. But JD, they got Dana Brooke, man. Dana Brooke should be on Sesame Street with the rest of the fucking puppets. Muppets. Miss Piggy. I heard she needs a fucking job. Jim Henson's looking for new actresses. There you go. Dana Brooke on Monday Night Raw. Are you kidding me? Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. That's off the script. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up down below. Oh, JD, you're so negative, man. Hit that thumbs up down below, man. If you enjoyed the video, let's strive for 1,500 thumbs up. Why? Because this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. Thank you guys so much. Show your love to my sponsors. Buy your t-shirt. Legit t-shirts, by the way. Ones that actually look great. And make sure you guys support on the Patreon page. And make sure you guys check out that audibletrial.com for Charlotte's book, Second Nature on Audible Trial. Do it! And I'll see you guys right back here for part 2 of Off the Script. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you right back here for episode 187 on Saturday morning.